Here's a color reconstruction of Coyolxauhqui. They used a pigment evidence to determine what the colors would be. Blue is the color of preciousness, and it's also called chalchihuitl. Blue, green, jade is all lumped together as preciousness, and it's related to water. You can see again, she's decapitated. We have the little saw marks that Kate's going to talk to us about later. Not on her, but on other people. You can't see it here, but there's two little bones sticking out here. But these are actually white, so you can see it there in her legs. But notice she's wearing that same skull belt. She's definitely related to Coatlicue. She's got the same shoulder pad. She's got them on her knees too. She doesn't have claws though, but she's definitely related. And as I said, she is a lunar divinity. And of course that stone, there's a sculpture of just her head. It's about 3 feet, 4 feet across. It's a big sculpture too, bigger than human size, but you can again see the bells on her face. She's almost always portrayed with her eyes closed. I just wanted to mention, some of the scholars point out that, you can see it better here, she has sagging breasts and tummy folds, indicating she's probably also a mother. So she's a warrior and a mother. There hasn't been a lot of research on Coyolxauhqui, but certainly interesting. Plus her nipples are blue, indicating that's a hint to mother's milk. And in fact, mother's milk is what the Milky Way is perceived as. So and the babies that die when they're being born, they go to a paradise that has a mother's milk tree that has all breasts, and the baby's nursed from the breast of the tree. So body fluids are super important, every single one of them. And the Aztecs made good use of all kinds of body fluids. Anyway, back to our Hueyteocalli, the big sacred house. This is where Coyolxauhqui is, our little moonstone, Huitzilopochtli. What's really interesting, and again, Coatlicue was out here. When the warrior sacrifices came to be sacrificed on the temple, they would march up this way, walk over her stone, walk up the hill, or mountain, stairs, be sacrificed. The heart would be fed, probably to the earth monster that we're going to talk about in a minute, and the body rolled back down, decapitated and dismembered, probably landing somewhere on or near Coyolxauhqui. So they're reenacting the birth of Huitzilopochtli in this Aztec sacrifice practice. So we got this side is Coatepec. We're going to move to the other side though. Remember I told you that rectangular structure right here, this rectangular stone. It's another flat stone laying in the ground. It was discovered in 2006. And it is another image of Tlaltecuhtli, the Earth Lord. Notice she has claws. She has those same skull, elbow pads, and knee pads. In this case, she is dripping blood from her mouth. Blood has been sacrificed into her mouth, and she's broken. And she's broken, we think, on purpose, because she is destroyed. However, she is the one who would have taken the hearts and the blood of the warriors. I'm going to give you a picture for scale. She's, I have my numbers. I think she's around 13 feet. She's massive. The Coatlicue is about 11 feet, 12 feet, and the Coyolxauhqui is about 10 feet. These are massive, massive stone sculptures. Anyway, so you can see up close, I want you to see the little curlicues. She has similar ear ornaments. It is a skeletal face again, and she is dripping blood from her mouth. Sometimes we see sacrificial knives in her mouth, as you'll see just now. This is one of the graphic representations of her. You get used to seeing this, but this is her open mouth. Her head's laid back. This is a back shot like this. And you see her mouth open, wide open, with sacrificial knives in it. Again, you see her claws, her knee pads, her shoulder pads. Look what she's wearing. She's got that same skull and tail feather skirt, or kind of an apron bit in the back. I don't know what you call that. And she's got that curly hair. Remember we saw the curly hair. These are like her eyes right here. We see her a lot. She shows up a lot. And one of the reasons we do is that the earth was created before the Aztec story of the earth creation incorporates the pre-existing deities. And what happened was Tezcatlipoca, who is one of the power gods, warrior gods of some of the Toltecs, and Quetzalcoatl, who was affiliated with other cities, they decided they would make the sky and the earth. And there was this saurian monster, like a giant dinosaur, floating in a pond of primordial water. And they said, okay, we need an earth and we need a sky. So they start messing with her and get her all mad, and they get in a big fight. And she's so mad that she bites off Tezcatlipoca's foot, and it gets replaced with a mirror, an obsidian mirror that gives him his name. His name is Obsidian Mirror, Smoking Mirror. She bites off his foot, and then Quetzalcoatl and Tezcatlipoca each take an arm. One takes the right arm and a left leg, the other takes the left arm and a right leg, and they pull so hard they break her into two, which is why I think she's broken already. And they throw the top part up, and that makes the sky, which is where her breasts are, right? And they throw the bottom part down, and it makes the earth, which is where her womb is, right? And so we have the sky and the earth. And then she's so upset, as you can imagine, that she cries and cries and cries and cries. And the other gods are so upset. By her being upset, they said, okay, we're going to try to make you happy. We're going to sacrifice all our blood to you to make you happy. So they sacrifice all their blood to her, and from her body grow all the plants. So she literally is the provider of sustenance, the beginning of agriculture. The Aztecs take that out of context, but anyway, just another image of her. Oh, that was her crying. I know this seems like a quick jump, but we're jumping to Moctezuma's throne, but what does that look like? It looks like a pyramid, yeah. And what are pyramids?
Mountains.
Mountains, yeah. So this helps us understand about the position of Tlaltecuhtli. You see something here that you might recognize? It's not exactly the one you know, but you've seen something like this.
Calendar?
It looks like the Aztec calendar, right? It looks like the sunstone, which is here. And then guess what? On this seat, guess who's there? On the seat is the sunstone. The sun is in the sky. Who's down here? The earth. Yeah, here. Here's the sunstone. A couple of guys making sacrifices. Look who we got. Her mouth is open. She's got her little belt on. And these are symbols for warfare. Shield and atlatl darts and flags symbolize warfare. And her mouth is open. So this is Moctezuma II, the Moctezuma that actually met Cortez. One of my professors actually went and sat on this, and she said it's not real comfortable, but it's sittable. So he's literally sitting on the earth with the sun behind him. And then this is the Aztec sun for movement. Now we only knit the fifth sun. Before the Chichimecs get there, before the Mexica get there, there was only 4 suns. They imposed their own sun right on the top of everybody. And this is the symbol for the Aztec sun, and it's literally a sun. So we have the sun at the back. Moctezuma would have had the sun at his back and the earth under his butt. And warfare on either side. He's earned this place because he dominated the earth, and he performed the warfare necessary to get there. I flipped this the other way so you can see it in the same position. So we're going to go on to the sacrificial stone, and what's interesting about this is there's a little more detail. Look whose head it is. Look whose face it is. We got claws. I mean, again, this is up for discussion, but I think that this is the earth monster, Tlaltecuhtli. And these are the 4 previous suns. And this is the last connection to violence against women. These 4 suns were all in an era, and they're between Tezcatlipoca, Quetzalcoatl, Tlaloc, and then Chalchihuitlicue, she of the jade skirt. And I'm just going to talk about Chalchihuitlicue right now. This is that glyph flipped over, and you can kind of see water kind of things coming out of here. This is also the rayos. What are rayos? Streaks, rays coming through are blue, would have been blue. And then this is the symbol for contained water. So if you see a river or a lake, that's what it's in. So the 4th sun, the last sun before the Aztecs or the Mexica rise to power, was Chalchihuitlicue, she of the water, she of the jade skirt. We see a lot of images of her in some of the written accounts. I want you to pay really close attention to this trapezoidal hat. It's going to come back. Here she's giving birth to the corn god, Tzintecutl. So once corn is ready, it's time for warfare. So in this era, this is also when it's time to get ready for war. You see water coming from her. She's giving birth and water's coming out, so I read that as amniotic fluid. We see people swimming in there. We see little eddies. These are little eddies, like whirlpools in there. So this is a lot of water, right? Keep track of that hat, though. Here's another image, same hat. Look how blue she is. That blue is precious. Water, water coming out here. Still got the people swimming. Still got the little eddies. Got a little war sign here, so we know this is related to warfare. She's also carrying a baton, which is she's connected to weaving, and this is a Tezcatlipoca rattle, and she's singing. She's singing here. These are darts, so she's getting ready, some kind of ritual connected to blessing war implements. There's also a poem to her in one of the documents, but look at her hat. Look at the little waves across her shift. They call this a shift in the poem. We peel, and her skirt. So her name is Precious Stone, Precious Jade, Precious Water, her skirt. Her skirt is blue, basically. And I'm not going to read that because we're running out of time. But Chalchihuitlicue is also important at Teotihuacan. And guess what? In Teotihuacan, they had a giant sculpture of Chalchihuitlicue. This isn't quite the same headdress, but look at the shift. It's definitely the same. You can't see it probably up here, but there are little wavy lines across there. She's got the same skirt and the same shift. And then the side of it is a mural painted inside where it shows her giving the waters from her hands. And that's important because the Aztecs constructed their town. The town is called Water Mountain. Not a big surprise, right? The Water Mountain is the pyramid, but this is how they got to Water Mountain. The people from there, from New Spain, the ancient ones, said that the rivers came from there. They came from Tlalocan, remember? That's Tlaloc's mountain, Monte Tlaloc. And that they're the property of the goddess called Chalchihuitlicue, whom you just met. And that they come from her. It's also to say that the mountain is no more a skin, only the exterior is made of earth, of stone, but it's like a vessel, like a house full of water. And if someone tried to destroy the mountain, it would cover the world with water. For that reason, they gave the name Altepetl, Water Mountain, to the places where people lived. They said that the Water Mountain, that the river from there came flowing from the interior of the mountain. Chalchihuitlicue let it escape from her hands. This is the Aztecs version of it. You can see that they've lifted the image from Teotihuacan. And guess what? She's right here. The earth monster's here. I think they're linking the earth monster with Tlaltecutli. This is the Tlaloc side of the mountain, and so I think they're making Tlalocan too. This is Monte Tlaloc. This is a two-headed mountain. Coatepec, Snake Mountain, and Tlaltepec. And Monte Tlaloc is right here. We saw it far away. Remember I told you to remember Coatlinchan? Right here at the base of Monte Tlaloc, guess what they found? A giant sculpture, 22 feet high, laying at the bottom of Monte Tlaloc. Now, those crafty Mexicans decided they wanted to take it to Mexico City, so they dug her up and they hauled her to Mexico City where you can see her better. Look at the headdress. They colored Tlaloc. These are water holes, right? This is contained water. Look at her shift. Look at her skirt. It's Tlaloc. I mean, it's Chalchihuitlicue. I'll go back. And she was laying on her back with Tlaloc at the top. So it's definitely Monte Tlaloc with Chalchihuitlicue. So the earth monster is creating the same space or occupying the same space as Chalchihuitlicue was occupying with Monte Tlaloc. Only the Aztecs have claimed her as their earth, and they've broken her to be part of their world that uses the violent actions that happen to women's bodies to help justify their right to rule. Thank you.